گوش من سرو کنه دوباره باز غمت بیاد منو مبتلا کنه به دل میگم کاریش نباشه به ذره درد تو نباشه بره توی تموم جونم که باز برات آواز بخونم که باز برات آواز بخونم اگه بازم دلت میخواد یاد یک دیگر باشی مثال ایوم قدیم بشنیمیم و سهار پاشی باید دلت رنگی بگیره دوباره آهنگی بگیره رنگی اون دیاری که توش منو تنها نذاری اگه میخوای پیشم بمونی بیا تو واقعی جوونی بیا تو پوست به استخونه نظر دلم تنها بمونه بذار شبم رنگی بگیره دوباره آهنگی بگیره رنگی اون دیاری که توش منو تنها نذاری Everybody اگه یه روزی نوم تو گوش من سرا کنه دوباره باز غمت میاد منو مبتلا کنه به دل میگم کاریش نباشه بذاره درد تو نباشه بره توی تموم جونم که باز برات آواز بخونم یه باز برات آواز بخونم یه باز برات آواز
May I say on behalf of everyone,
Oh my God, version song. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and similar, that song is about a love song saying if you ever leave, I'll be very lonely, and feel that can always apply to our relationship with God and in our own songwriting ourselves, even if it is seems like a regular love song per se. We always keep in mind that it is also a love song to the Creator as well. All right. So we got one more left for you all. And what we did for this one is we compiled instances where the writings quote the Quran and the Bible and put it all together with some Baha'i writings as well. And we hope you enjoy it. It's about service and helping your fellow man, and it's called Fire. And it's called in response, and even though you all are muted, please feel free to be singing along from wherever you are at home. All right, just make sure you're all tuned up. Sounds good. All right, cool. 2, 3, 4. We are even as the fire. We are even as the fire. In the darkness of the night. In the darkness of the night. Before the eyes of men. Before the eyes of men. Oh, let your light shine. Let your light shine. Well, now is the time to serve. Now is the time to be on fire. Have we perceived a fire on the slope of Mount Sinai? Remove not, O Lord, the festal port that hath been spread in thy name, and extinguish not the burning flame that hath been kindled by thine unquenchable fire. We are even as the fire. We are even as the fire. In the darkness of the night. In the darkness of the night. Before the eyes of men. Before the eyes of men. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Now now it's the time to serve. Now is the time to be on fire. Where is the warmth of thy love, oh fire of the world? Should all the servants read and ponder this, there shall be kindled in their veins a fire that shall set aflame the world. Now ye are even as the fire,
We are even as the fire
in the darkness of the night,
in the darkness of the night,
before the eyes of men.
before the eyes of men.
Oh, let your light shine,
Let your light
shine.
shine.
Oh, now it's the time to serve. Now is the time to be on fire. Oh, now is the time to serve. Now is the time to be on fire. Oh, now is the time to serve. Now is the time to be on fire. Thank you very much.
If you were to pull out one more song, we'd like that.
Sure.
Okay, sure,
we
yeah.
could do short ones so we don't elongate the program too long.
Yay!
Yeah, there you go. All right. So as we were listening in, there's some people from Chile on the call. Our mom is actually from Peru, and so we live with our Peruvian grandparents. So we've always grown up speaking Spanish and loving the culture. And this is one song that we do at a lot of our shows that we hope you all enjoy. And please feel free to get up and dance.
Right.
All right. 2, 3, 4. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia per ripartir y arriba y arriba, y arriba y arriba por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 bamba. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia per ripartir y arriba y arriba. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia per ripartir y arriba y arriba, y arriba y arriba por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Ah, bamba, bamba, todos. Bamba, 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 bamba. Muchas gracias. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you
Everybody,
so much. Let's give them another round. Let's give them a big fiery hands. Thank you so much. What an honor to have met you. Mucho gusto. Next,
Does Van want to say something? Maybe Van or Jack want to say something to these guys that did a great job. Wow.
It was a great job. I sang as much as I could sing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
next up is we thought we were going to have an interview with the wonderful Mayor Mansouri of the Children's Theater Company, but she was unable to attend this time. We'll have her next time. But our dear friend Jack Lenz has a project he has been working on and would love to share it with all of you because it affects all of us as we build the community we need to build just to be part of Baha'u'llah's revelation. Jack,
Well,
you
thank you.
just tell me what to queue up when you need
Okay.
it.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Jean. And it was so nice to hear you guys sing. I've heard about you, and especially to know that Van has inspired you. He's inspired so many of us, and I really appreciate you acknowledging him. But I also appreciate your incredibly great energy and fun, and obviously doing wonderful things for the cause. Thank you very much. I wanted to talk to you about two things. One, I wanted to apologize because it was really my mistake that Mayor couldn't be here today. I've been working with the Children's Theater Company in New York for about 20 years. And we've been, I first met them when we did a project with Nelson Mandela for the special session on children in New York. I was the musical director for that event. And I couldn't believe how the impact that Mayor's program, the Children's Theater Company, had on children from really challenged communities where the kids just were not getting many opportunities. And so she's had thousands of kids, mostly from Harlem and the Bronx and those kind of communities, mostly African-American children who've come through this program and have really blossomed because of it, because it's teaching moral education and through theater. And, you know, the impact of it has been amazing. And now what's so exciting is the National Spiritual Assembly is working closely with us on the Children's Theater Company, and Mayor will tell you more about it next week. She's actually going to do her contribution next week from the Greenacre School, where they're having a retreat for all the staff and all the crew to really help them understand how they can contribute to the conversation about racial justice and achieving racial justice and equality in America. And it's primarily most of the kids that sing in the cast are from the Christian Cultural Center in New York. And Pastor Bernard has been very supportive of this project. And so it's really interesting to see how it's kind of combining all these different communities to be able to do what we're trying to do for children's theater. So she's going to tell you more about that, but it's very exciting what's going on. One of the concerts that we did and the shows that we did of this play called Henry Box Brown, which was about an incredible man in the 1840s who shipped himself to freedom, shipped himself as dry goods to freedom to an abolitionist family in Philadelphia. And it's an incredible story. And Henry Brown, to me, is one of the great Black heroes in America that we just don't know enough about. And unfortunately, these stories are often relegated to folklore. So they don't really, we don't understand them as fact. We don't understand that these courageous people went through these terrible times and really emerged to make such a significant contribution to society. So I really appreciate what Mayor's doing and what the cast is doing. And this deepening and kind of retreat at Greenacre, she's going to tell us about it next week. Mayor has also been very supportive of this project that I call the Baha'i Feasts and Holy Days Songbook. And I'm just going to play a little song for you that maybe you'll remember. It goes like this. Baha Jalal Jamal Azamat Nuramat Kalimat Kamal Asma Izad Majiat Kem Kodrat Kal Masail Sharaf Sultan Mulkallah, Sultan Mulkallah, splendor, glory, and beauty, grandeur, light, and mercy, words, perfection, and names, might and will and knowledge, power, speech, questions, and honor, sovereignty, dominion, and loftiness, sovereignty, dominion, and loftiness. These are the names of the months. These are the names of the months. Now that song I wrote in 1982, probably before most of you were born, and I really I wrote it for my kids because I wanted them to be able to learn all the names of the months in Arabic and in English, right? But for years I've wanted to actually have a collection of songs that would be dedicated to each Baha'i month, the 19 Baha'i months, and the 11 holy days, plus the intercalary days. And then I did some new versions, a chant version, and then a really up-tempo celebrational version of the Song of the Month song. And then I ended up with some introductions and transitional pieces, a cappella pieces, one of which we're going to play for you today. But it's just been an amazing project. It's been 3 years for me trying to write it in what I call splendid isolation, which is not always a good idea. But the last year has contributed to that. And I've worked with this amazing choral group out of Toronto called Countermeasure. And they tour. They're one of the great vocal groups here in Toronto. And they've just done an amazing job of singing these songs. And so my hope is that all of us as songwriters and composers would eventually contribute to this idea of more music at our feasts and our holy days. And so this is a sort of a beginning effort, shall we say, to have a way that we can maybe sing more at our meetings, have songs that are dedicated to each feast, inspired by each feast. So maybe we can really sort of do more of that, all of us. I call it the Badi calendar expressed in song. And I want to tell you just one little thing that I've learned about the Badi calendar. You know that every 19 years we have what's called a Vahid, right? So those started in 1844.
Jack, I think you muted
sorry,
yourself accidentally.
You're muted. Sorry, Jack, you're muted.
So right now we're in the 9th Vahid, which is the 9th Vahid out of the first 19, which will make up 361 years, right? And what's interesting about the 19-year cycle is it harmonizes both the lunar and the solar calendars. So it's kind of like this amazing kind of new spiritual calendar as a way to measure time, as a way to understand how we're going to measure time in the future. And of course, in 2015, which was at the beginning of the 9th Vahid, the House of Justice started us all on this idea that we would celebrate these holy days around the world and our feasts at the same time all together. Because some of them, some people celebrated them according to the lunar calendar, others to the Gregorian. Now we're celebrating them all together around the world. So that happened at the beginning of the 9th Vahid, if you can imagine. And the 9th Vahid goes from year 171 to the year 190. And so we're in 178 right now. So we're just sort of in the beginning few years of that Vahid. But imagine all the things that are happening during that time. And so I thought it was a great time to try to put all these feasts to music and Baha'i holy days to music. And so I have a couple of videos. One, this is an example of one of those songs. It's just a short video of some of the singers from Countermeasure. And it's for the Feast of Perfection, or in the Arabic word, Kamal. So Perfection, Kamal, this is one of the videos of them singing a little bit of that song.
Man made in the image of God, woman made in the image of God, child made in the image of God, made in the image of perfection. spiritual meaning. Walk high, walk high, walk high, walk high.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, thank you. And it's been amazing working with these singers because they've really gotten into the spirit of this. They love singing about these attributes of God. And I'm compiling currently a songbook, which is going to be about maybe 550 pages of music for all the lead sheets, all the choral sheets, so that people can play them on piano and sing along with them. I'll also be included. It's a 6 CD set. It's about 159 minutes of music, and because I've ended up with 36 songs, and then all the instrumentals will be on a second set of CDs, 2 CDs, and then a third set will just have all the a cappella vocal performances, so that hopefully people with the scores, with the lead sheets, with the tracks, with the vocal examples, hopefully it can encourage people to do more singing in the communities. And I know that we're at an early stage in this, but with all these temples that we're building, we've got to have more music, right, Van? and Van knows this very well because he has a very challenging job of having music in this glorious Baha'i temple in Evanston and Wilmette. So we really appreciate all that you're doing, Van, to encourage music in the temple, and hopefully we can all work together to create more and more music for these temples and for our meetings. So the one other piece I wanted to play for you. So anyway, all the set of 6 CDs and the 2 volumes. It's actually 2 volumes of 300 pages each. Those will be coming out sort of by the end of April. And currently I'm working with a great group out of Los Angeles called Unity, they do special effects for movies. And they're doing a series of videos about the 3 songs for Rizwan. So I'm trying to develop videos at the same time so we can get them out. And the other exciting news is that Sony Classics out of New York is looking at putting this record out. I just released a soundtrack with them called Shelter. And when I played it for the president, Shane Carter, he was so excited about it. So I think we're actually going to get some support because the intention of it was to reach far beyond our community, to try to have this music, any music from the Baha'i community, get out there, as Seals and Crofts did, as many artists like Dan Seals, as Van has done. Try to find a way, Andy Grammer, there's so many wonderful Baha'i artists, and the efforts of people like Ali and Licata Brothers. We really need to have this music out in the world so it will bring joy and comfort and solace to people. Anyway, the last piece is actually the introduction to the Feast of Speech. I thought these qualities of kindliness, lowliness, and humility would be important qualities about the Feast of Speech, which I don't have a video yet for, but you'll be able to hear all this music soon. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is it comes from a poem of Rumi, which I used a few poems of Rumi in some of the lyrical qualities of the pieces because it's such inspirational poetry. And so it's a poem that Rumi said, he said, "Your acts of kindness are iridescent wings of divine love." He says, and these iridescent wings of divine love, these acts of kindness, he says, they will continue and they will linger on long after you're sharing, linger on to uplift others, he says, long after you're sharing. So he talks about the power of kindness and the power of the acts of kindness in the world, which we surely need more of now. So I'd love, Jean, if you'd play this one. It's called Kindliness, Humility, Lowliness.
Iridescent wings of divine
sharing. Kindliness, humility, lowliness. Kindliness, humility, lowliness. Your acts of kindness are iridescent wings of divine love,
Of divine love.
divine love, of divine love. Kindness, humility, lowliness. Kindliness, 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 humility, lowliness.
Thank you very much for listening, friends.
Thank you so much, Jack. What a celebration of possibilities you have provided us. Our last artist of the day.
Sorry, Jean, could I
Yes.
mention something? Sorry to interrupt. Wanted to welcome many of our neighbors that have just joined, many of the friends from the South County Interfaith Council that has joined this meeting. Welcome. And if anybody wants to get the information about this in the chat, please put your email and we'll add you in. And please don't raise hand until the end. We'll all have a chance to talk, because when you raise hands, then it will be difficult for me to manage the artist. Thank you.
We're so excited with the next artist, and he deserves a wonderful introduction, which I have to ask Van Gilmer to do. Please, Van.
Well, it is my honor. And let me, before I introduce Ali, thank Jack for those beautiful arrangements, those compositions, the visuals. Oh, I'm just so jealous.
Soul stirring, really.
Well, my job this afternoon is to introduce Ali. And you know, I have known him for a while, but only over miles. And I personally find his music so beautiful. Uses so many different instruments. It's meditative. It lifts you up. This is the way I feel about Ali's music. I don't know if he knows I felt that way, so I want to say that so that he hears it.
Wow.
So Ali, tell us when you started music. When was that?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for that wonderful, humbling introduction. Because as the Licata brothers mentioned, you know, it's such an honor to be among friends that I have looked up to and grown up with your music. Really, both Van Gilmer, Jack Lenz. Really, you guys have filled our life with music from a very young age. So thank you guys so much, and very, very honored to be with you guys. So for me, music has really been a passion since I can remember. If you ask my mother, she would probably tell you that it started very early on, when on bus rides to visit the family in Santiago, I would get up and go to the front of the bus and start singing for the for the people on the bus. I would start singing the songs from children's class. So probably as early as that. I can't remember that, but but I actually went to a music school in Chile, and when I went to college, I ended up studying music therapy. And little by little, once I moved to the States, I started dabbling into composition and production a little bit, and had the fortune of meeting some really amazing musicians along the way that have inspired this journey.
I didn't realize you were born in Chile.
I was born in the States, but my family were pioneers in Chile
Okay.
from the time I was 2 years old. So pretty much culturally, I'm pretty much Chilean.
So where do you live now?
Currently, California. So my wife was actually living in California, so we've settled here for a little while. But we have one foot in the States and one foot hopping around other parts of the world, depending on family, depending on projects. So we actually most recently came back we were in the Gambia for in West Africa for about a year, working there and with family there. And we just most recently came back from Antigua, where my family on my mom's side are actually pioneers there for many years. And we had the bounty of work. I don't know if you guys have seen a couple of the latest videos that we've released. We actually had the bounty of filming in Antigua, which lent itself very beautifully for some of the cinematography that we were trying to do.
Yeah.
So that was our latest trip. But right now we're in California.
So now, apart from being a world citizen, how would you describe yourself? What would, if you had to call yourself whatever? You're not African American. What would you call?
Oh, in terms of
Yes.
ethnicity, or
Yes, yes. Well, that and
I
then
would call
feeling.
myself confused. I mean, I would say I'm definitely maybe more American than just because I've lived already for many years here in the States. But definitely my heart is very, very much South American. Culturally also, there's a lot of cultural aspects and how we see the world and everything that has been influenced. It's really amazing how, despite my father being from Iran and my mother being from the States, I consider myself to be more Chilean than anything else. You just absorb the reality that you're in,
How many languages? How many languages do you speak?
Only two, unfortunately, only two. Just English and Spanish.
Spanish,
I
okay.
dabble a little bit in Serbian because I was pioneering in Serbia for a few years, and yeah, that's about it. A few words of Farsi. I pretend sometimes.
Okay. Now, I know we want to hear you, but tell us, what is your dream to be? What do you hope will happen with music? And when we're talking about music and the arts, and you're already so embedded in music and the arts, what is your hope?
My hope, boy, that's a deep question. More music, more arts. It has been a fascinating journey these past few years, where I feel like my wife and I have just been married 3 years, and for the past about 2 years, we've detached ourselves more and more from our previous kind of conventional jobs to dedicate more time to the arts. And I've always felt very strongly that this cause of the unification of the world, it requires so many efforts in so many different arenas of life, and music has a very powerful role, in my opinion, to play in that process. Because for me, music is this, it's almost a magical tool that just bypasses our mind, and it goes straight to the heart. So it carries these messages and it just brings it straight to the heart. So my goal has always been just to deepen my own understanding in music and in art and in film. And we've been trying to dedicate more time to perfect those skills and those, that art form, so that we can really elevate our own work to a place that is, dignified enough to present these messages. And hopefully, as Jack was saying, also to carry this to more and more people around the world, because that's ultimately the purpose. It's no use if we're only keeping it for ourselves. So to find ways of sharing this with more friends that resonate with that message of unity, and who want to to do their part in that process. So my dream and my hope is just to be a channel for, and whatever it is that I was given, in terms of the arts and music, to really give that back to the faith, back to the world, and be able to continue collaborating with people around the world, which I love to do, and just deepen those connections and that art.
Well, let's have everybody welcome Ali Yousefi.
Thank you guys so much. So maybe I'll start with one song that we actually just released this past month. It's titled A Mighty Sea. And for me, this was such a beautiful quote of Abdu'l-Baha. We have set ourselves as a goal, since we're commemorating the centenary of the passing of Abdu'l-Baha this year. We have set ourselves as a goal to try to release one song every month in his honor. And so this song we released last month, and it's the quote talks about how, what a blessing it will be when all of us come together, and talks about how, we're all like single drops and rivers and streams and torrents that will eventually merge into this powerful and this mighty sea. And interestingly enough, in the process of composing this, it didn't come about as a happy tune. It came more as a song of longing. There was a certain melancholy to it, and I think it was very appropriate to what this is trying to convey for me, that we have yet so far to go, and there's such a big effort that we still have to make in this process. So I hope you enjoy A Mighty Sea. What a blessing that will be when all shall come together, even as once separate torrents, rivers and streams, running brooks and single drops, when collected together in one place, will form a mighty sea. At such time, overwhelming grace will so encircle all, and the sea of grandeur will so overflow its shores, a strip of water will grow, wide as an endless sea, and every merest drop will be even as a shoreless deep. What a blessing that will be. What a blessing that will be. Thank you. So maybe I thought we'd do, we have time for a couple more? Yeah? So I'm gonna switch my screen here to gallery because I want to be able to see you guys for this next one. All right. Can I switch it to gallery? There we go. All right. So this next one is one that some of the friends might know, and if so, it'd be wonderful to have you guys sing along. Unfortunately, with your mics muted, but it's one that's called Unite, and this was the first of a series of global collaborations that I've been working on. For me, it's just a fascinating journey because I've had the opportunity of adding a lot of different musicians from around the world and have them add their voices and opening the invitation to all the friends to participating, adding their voices. And I feel like these messages take on a special power when they're being sung by so many around the world. So if you know it, please join us and sing along. Together the hearts, unite and bind. Together the hearts, join in accord all the souls. Join in accord all the souls. Oh Lord, make these faces radiant through the light of thy oneness. Unite and bind. Together the hearts, unite and bind. Together the hearts, join in accord all the souls. Join in accord all the souls. Oh Lord, make these faces radiant through the light of thy oneness. So if I could ask you to turn your cameras on so I can see you guys while you sing. One more time. Unite and bind. Together together the heart, joining the chord all the souls, joining the chord all the souls. Oh Lord, make these faces radiant through the light of thy oneness. Unite and bind together the hearts. Unite and bind together the hearts, the hearts. All right. It's so much nicer when I can see everybody singing along. Very nice. Thank you guys for joining in. And so if we have time, I'll do one more call and, well, it's not really a call and response. This is going to be a participatory song. So I'm hoping you guys can learn this one. It's not one that we've recorded just yet, but this is kind of showing my Caribbean influence a little bit. So this is talking about how the material civilization is like unto a lamp. Yes, while the spiritual civilization is the light in that lamp. Okay, if the two become united, then we will have the light and the lamp together, and the outcome will be perfect. Okay, just that it's not going to be, in this case, perfect. It's going to be perfect. So repeat after me. It's going to be perfect. All right, so we have two pers and three fects. Yes? Okay, excellent. So let's give it a try. And I sing it a couple of times so you can pick it up, okay? Material civilization is like unto a lamp, while spiritual civilization is the light in the lamp. If the two become united, yes, if the two become united. One more time. Material civilization is like unto a lamp, while spiritual civilization is the light in the lamp. If the two become united, yes, if the two become united, and then we will have the light and the lamp. Yes, and we will have the light and the lamp together. Together. And the outcome will be perfect. 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 From the beginning, material civilization is like unto a lamp, while spiritual civilization is the light in the lamp. If the two become united, yes, if the two become united. One more time now. Material civilization is like unto a lamp, while spiritual civilization is a light in the lamp. If the two become united, yes, if the two become united, and then we will have the light and the lamp, the light and the lamp. Then we will have the light and the lamp together. Together. And the outcome will be perfect. 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 So this is the challenging part now. So you guys are going to continue with that at home. Okay, so you're going to say, and the outcome will be perfect. And the outcome will be going. Perfect. And the material civilization is like into the lamp. A spiritual civilization is a light in the lamp. If the two become united. Yes, material civilization is like unto a lamp, while spiritual civilization is a light in the lamp. If the two become united. Yes, if the two become united, and the outcome will be perfect, and the outcome will be perfect. All right. Oh, how I wish I could hear you guys singing. It's so much more fun when we have an actual that I could see your lips moving. So I'm assuming that you are singing along.
We can try that if you want. We can have everybody unmuted so they can chant. Want to try that?
In my experience, it hasn't worked out too well.
Oh.
I feel the technology is not quite there yet, unfortunately. We're getting there. But
Put it on Discourse, and we might be able to get the outcome.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you. Beautiful.
My pleasure.
Well, thank you. What wonderful treat we had today. A couple of little housekeeping to bring up. If you would like to get a hold of people like the Licata brothers or Ali, here's some contact information so you can find them, and Jack, Van, and myself if you need us. So feel free to write these down. We'll also put them into the chat. I didn't know if you wanted your personal emails to go out, Tony and Jimmy, so I just put at thelicataBrothers.com. You can connect to them that way. Also, if you know of an artist who would like to participate, please email Peter Qassemi, and he will help you. We meet every other week so far, so long as funding holds out, and we're so grateful. Any questions or any more songs that we need to share urgently?
Yeah, maybe all of us could thank all the performers, Licata brothers and Ali. It was really great to have them here. And if people like to maybe get their information, they can contact us, of course, and possibly put your information in the chat, and we'll definitely try to connect you. That's the purpose of this meeting. And if it's okay with you all, maybe we can open. Do you guys want to do any other songs, Jack or Van, before we closing?
I'd like to share a song because it's about dancing for joy. And I'm too lazy to go to my piano. I've been spending a lot of time quilting for a wedding quilt, and I put a sewing machine needle through my finger. And that's my excuse today for why my guitar playing is as bad as it is. But I'm starting to get feeling back, and I wanted to, I'm basically a cheapskate, and usually I compose a wedding song for people. And I want to offer you this one, because when the young man told us he was going to get married, we were jumping for joy, dancing for joy, because we never figured he'd find a girl. But when he did, I looked up, well, what does Baha'u'llah say about dancing for joy? And Abdul Baha has something to say about dancing for joy.
And Jean, do you want me to add Ali and the Licata brothers and everybody to just
They're all in there.
They're all there. On the screen? Yes, okay.
All there. He maketh the hearts to dance for joy and filleth up the soul with an ecstasy of love and rapture. so intensely hath the glory of divine unity penetrated souls and hearts, that all are bound now one to another with heavenly ties, and all are even as a single heart, as a single soul. Wherefore reflections of the spirit and impressions of the divine, and a mirror clear and sharp in the deep heart's core. That all are bound now one to another with heavenly ties, and all are even as a single heart, as a single soul. Therefore reflections of the spirit and impressions of the divine, and a mirror clear and sharp, and a mirror clear and sharp, and a mirror clear and sharp in the deep heart's core. He maketh the hearts to dance for joy. He maketh the hearts to dance for joy. He maketh the hearts to dance for joy.
Beautiful.
Awesome, great. Van, do you want to do anything at the end, or everybody to sing along with you guys? No, or Jeff? No, or Ali, if you guys.
I think it'd be.
Yeah.
It'd be so nice to hear a prayer from Van or Ali or Lakota. Be nice.
I tell you, I do have something I would do. I wrote it a long time ago. It was one of the first songs I ever wrote. It was written as a round. It was to teach people in the mass teaching area of the South of America to be able to say Alawapa and Yabahalapa. But the words came from it's Baha'u'llah. The words assume all that dwell on earth, but I'm going to sing it in a different fashion. And you sing with me as we go. Soon will all that dwell on earth be enlisted under these banners. Soon will all that dwell on earth be enlisted under these banners. Everybody will know this. Yahweh soon will all that dwell on earth be enlisted under thee.
Wow, that was fantastic. My goodness.
Well, we've
Come to the
spent
end.
another afternoon together, and it was such a treat to have you.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you,
I
Tony.
was,
Thank
I
you,
was,
thank you, Licata Brothers, Ali.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you guys so much for the invitation, for having us. Pleasure.
do you think maybe we could have audience to just say a few words if anybody has questions? Now it's a good time for them to raise hand. Actually, one person has, I can unmute them. Yeah, they removed their hand. If anybody would like to say a few words, okay, I got a couple. George, please go ahead, unmute yourself. George?
How about if we
Sorry,
open
Allah
up the
Hafa.
chat?
This is not George. This is my husband. George is next world. And so
Okay.
this happened. And I just, Van was singing. I was crying because I remember George. He was singing with Van this same song in the Baha'i House of Worship.
Yeah.
Just was very moving. And thank you so much. Happy Nowruz. It was a wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Yes.
Friday.
Good to see you, Friday.
And then we have Sheila. Please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Oh, so nice to see you all. And Ali, I'm downloading your music all the time, using it in my devotionals. It's so wonderful. My God, thank you for the beautiful music. And Van, it's so
much.
wonderful to see you again. My God, I'm
Yes.
just so happy to see your face.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, Sheila.
And I just wanted to say, will we be getting invitation emails to this? Because I would love to attend.
Please, in the chat,
We
put
have
your
our
email
email.
address in the chat. Put your
I'm
email address
sorry?
in the chat. Please add your email address in the chat, and I will include you in our list.
Okay. Good to see you all.
Thank you, Sheila.
And Licata Brothers, I love you. Say hello to Mom and Dad for me.
Thank you. Next, we have Sheena, please go ahead. Shaheen, sorry.
Hello everyone, happy Nowruz. I'm singing. I'm singing.
Oh.
Okay, if you'd like to do maybe 1 minute, please, only 1 minute,
Okay.
please. Go ahead. We can hear you. You're on. Go ahead, please.
Okay. یا بشنوزه بلبل زمانی رسید گل گلی اومد به بازار که گلها نزد او خار بهاءالله آمد که شاه شاهان آمد صدا زد بلبلان را جمیع عاشقان را که یار اینجاست نگار اینجاست بیاناتش روان بخش است روان بخش است و جان بخش است تعالیمش جهانگیر است جوان شد عالم پیر است تو فیض الهی بهایی شو بهایی شو بهایی I love Baha'u'llah I love Abdul Baha I love Shokhi Afandi. I love Debab. Nowruz, Nowruz, happy Nowruz for everyone. Happy Nowruz for everyone. Nine, 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 nine. Everyone is today happy. Everyone is today happy. I happy.
Sorry. Your 1 minute is over. Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And then you have to turn on your video if you want to raise your hand, please. Next person, Hushang, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Aloha Pa. Happy Nowruz to everyone. And by the way, because the chat is disabled and we can't use the chat.
It's on.
I tried, all the time is disabled.
Sorry, it's on. You can send emails or send questions only to the host and co-host.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to bother you. Thank you. Allah.
Okay, thanks. Next person is iPhone. Geeta, please go ahead, unmute yourself. ET.
Yes. Aloha, Happy New Year's. And thank you so much for beautiful, beautiful program. And I really appreciate it. Whatever you do, Peter. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate. Next person is Hushang Talebi. Please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Is it prepared to say a prayer in Farsi?
No, we can't. At this time, it's for our musical program.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm going to call out Udo because I see him, and he sang with us at the dedication choir for the House of Worship in Chile. But he's from Germany, and he's here from. Just greet everybody, Udo.
How do you spell his name?
You would have to unmute. Are you going to say hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, you can unmute. I also wanted to welcome Don and others from our interfaith group, and some of my neighbors that are here also. Welcome. Udo, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Ali, wonderful music. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Udo.
I love it. Yeah, when we met Ali in Chile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I didn't actually have the bounty of singing with the choir. I was too late for the call. I missed out.
Yeah.
But you guys sounded amazing at the inauguration. It was so wonderful.
And Udo stayed in Chile for a bit after that.
Nice.
For 4 weeks.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I will go there again, but now with Corona, it's not so good.
Yeah, hopefully this will pass soon and we'll all be able to move around and enjoy each other's presence and company again.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Does the Kader brothers want to say any closing remarks, or Ali or anybody? Go ahead, unmute yourself, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and we're just very grateful and appreciative to be part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Good.
guys.
You surprised us with the Persian song. That was very nice. Thank you.
Likewise, just to thank you guys again, to the organizers and you know, for the effort of shedding light on the different initiatives that are happening and revolving around the arts. I think it's a wonderful effort, and thank you guys so much for including us in this.
Sure. Ali, do you want to mention on how they can contact you? And we have talked about a way that they could also be able to reach out. And there was a technique you mentioned about how they can compensate, if you remember. I forgot that.
We were talking about, because a lot of people are asking, like, how can they support these efforts and so on. And one thing that I was telling you about is I, along with a few other musicians, have started what's called a Patreon account, which if you haven't heard of it, I really encourage you to check it out. It's spelled Patreon, patreon.com. And if you look for my name there, you'll find my account. And it's basically a way that people can contribute, something on a monthly basis to artists who are trying to make a living from music. As many of you know, unfortunately, with the direction that the arts and music is going now, income from selling CDs and streaming and stuff like that is very minimum, unless you're hitting a huge mainstream and a huge amount of people. So it's constantly an interesting challenge also to find ways of dedicating more time to these efforts, like we were talking about earlier, to be able to perfect these things to in the way that they need to be perfected. So I encourage you to check that out, and my website and YouTube channel, where we're constantly trying to bring new audio and visual materials for the meetings and for the friends around the world.
Yeah, one of my friends from Interfaith group mentions that if you could talk about if there is an actual link to your website, or if there's actual complete wording on the YouTube channel for both you and the Licata Baratas.
Sorry, what was the question? If there's a link?
If there's a link to your YouTube, or just your name is good enough for YouTube channels, or if there's websites that they could follow up and contact you from the Interfaith group.
Maybe Licata Brothers, you guys want to start? How can people contact you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we have our website, and we're actually going to right now put in the chat our link tree, which has our YouTube channel, all our social media, all our streaming platforms.
All right, the new generation is so on top of it, man. It's great. I can also put my website, and you can find different videos on my website, as well as music, and there's also the link to the Patreon account. So I can also mention it in the chat for anybody who wants to access that.
Okay, as people put their emails on the chat, I can later on take all the emails and forward them, your links, your contacts, hopefully by tomorrow. Okay, great. I see one more person has a question. Shaheen, I thought I'll unmute her. Go ahead.
I pray English.
No, we don't have a closing prayer at this time. No, sorry. And the last person is Mr. Hassam. Please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Aloha, dear friends. It is such a bounty to be here and hear your voices, that you praised Baha'u'llah in your songs. I was wondering, do you have any plan for Rizwan celebration? A big festival of art to exalt his extinction. And I hope that you join us in Portland, Oregon for also Rizwan celebration. Our LSA want to have a big festival of art, and we would like to invite you all. So we can introduce you to Baha'is of Oregon and all metro area, entire Oregon, so they get to know you and appreciate your service.
Thank you, Mr. Hassam.
Music.
You always join us. He's always here, and he's from Portland, Oregon, inviting every one of our artists every time. Thank you so much. Yes. So if there's no other questions, we can conclude. Any closing remarks?
You should be able to find their contact information in the chat box.
Great. And we can also email the contact list as we'll be completing them, hopefully by end of the day today, and by tomorrow we'll forward it on a group email.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much,
everybody. Beautiful.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
As usual, bi-weekly program. Yes.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thanks very much.
So much. Have a nice weekend. Lovely seeing you all.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.